to put their phone timer on and give it to me? Please. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ryan Tongs, and I'm your friend. And I'm either going to be your best friend or your worst enemy right now because I am between you and lunch. And for those of you that know me well, I don't skip lunch. So, I know a lot of you have seen me on Zoom. Aren't you really impressed? Because, like, obviously Zoom adds 100 pounds. Okay? So, all right. How many of you want to have a business? Stand up. How many of you want to only have to build it once? Really? Some of you are like, oh, I'll do as many times as I need to, it's all good. Right? No, seriously. Like, seriously, if you go, no, I'm going to do this one time because I'm going to do it right, because somebody's going to just show me what do I need to do it right the first time. How many of you like to know that? Okay, awesome. Okay, so this is really cool. I didn't know I was going legacy. Woo! Train, I can die. My wife's like, no, not yet. Okay. Okay, so the first thing you gotta understand is we all have personal limits that we all need to overcome. Okay? Every single one of us is programmed from the time that we're born until today. You have been programmed, deprogrammed, reprogrammed, and unless you understand what it takes to have the mental toughness to be able to filter some of this crap out, you're going to become a victim of circumstance and society. But here's the thing. Did you come here to be a victim of society or to be counterintuitive to what the society is expecting you to do, which is to get a good job, get a pension, shut up, sit down, and do as you're told? How many of you want to do that? No? Okay, well, I'm glad you're here. Now, there's something really interesting. How many times have we heard the story of people winning the lottery? And, you know, this is a big win. They hit the lucky pot, they get the lottery, and, you know, everything's great. And then they end up broke. Okay? That's because they're a victim of circumstance. Because they're a victim of the programming that they've been brought up with. Okay? So, here's the myth. What you have defines who you are. Here's what I see when I see people driving around in a Ferrari. Unless I know them personally, I go, that's a crappy payment. And the reason why I know that is because I know more people that live a life of affluence, of debt, a life of debt disguised as affluence. Right? They play the part. How many of you ever seen these guys? You know, hey, you know, there's all these things coming out on YouTube and stuff, all these stars and everything like this, and here's what's happening. Well, they're using a rented jet or a rented plane, and, you know, they got it for 3 hours and everything like this, but they're putting it out there that they're living large. Do you know that the wealthiest people I know don't live large? I know a guy that's worth about $500 million, and the company gave him an S600, and he was more pissed off about the tax bill than he was excited about the car. See, I learned something from that guy. Okay? See, the fact is this. Who you are and what you do determines what you will have. See, the reason why people lose so big after they win the lottery is because they're not millionaires because they have $1 million. Because that's not what does it. Okay? The people that have millions of dollars were millionaires before they had it. Interesting concept, right? Okay? So, here's something you need to understand. You will never out-achieve your personal identity. So if you don't think you're worthy, you're right. If you think you're worthy, you're right. Isn't that cool? And you can choose whether or not to be worthy at any time. It all comes down to a decision. John Maxwell, who is one of my personal mentors, and I've studied so many of his teachings and stuff, and he basically said that most people make decisions, but then forget to manage the decision. So they change their mind. See, once you make a decision, then you just gotta manage that decision, and if you do that enough times over enough time, you'll get whatever it is you're looking for, because that decision will become true. And the book, Today Matters, if you want to know what it is, Today Matters by John Maxwell actually teaches you exactly how to do that. Because this is the order. Be plus do will equal your have. And there is only one commonality among all the biggest, greatest, most successful, most respected people in our business, in our industry. Right from Art Williams. Art Williams, what was his college degree? He didn't have one, did he? Yeah. Did he have one? Yeah, well, I know he's a coach, but I don't know, did he have a degree? Right? But, you know, like when you think about it, it's not the education, it's not the thing that defines whether or not they become that. The most successful people in business, okay? Here's the commonality. The most successful people in our company, in our industry, are repeated, okay? So you can take this to every aspect of your life, but I want you to look at it strictly from just this environment, because this is the environment, this is your field of play, okay? And that was this, the decision to be leaders. And do what leaders do, okay? See, the decision to become a leader is the decision that they manage every day, and doing the activities of leadership is how you manage it. It has nothing to do with gender, race, ethnicity, age, anything. None of that. All of that's gone. It doesn't. Some people are awesome at the product, some people aren't. But the greatest leaders, okay? And the greatest leaders are not always the biggest leaders, by the way. See, the greatest leaders achieve what they're trying to achieve, and they help others achieve what they're going to achieve. Okay? So, what do great leaders do? There are tangibles, there are intangibles, and then there's things that they avoid. Okay? I'm not going to go through everything, and there's things that I want to add to this. Okay? This is one of the most important ones. The great leaders try not to be the smartest person in the room. They actually work very hard to not be the smartest person in the room. And if they are, they look for another room that they can hang out with, so they don't they get their ego in the way, so they start to believe their own press that they got it all going on. Like Zachy. Superstar. Right? I love that guy. Okay? So, some of the tangibles, they show up, and they're on time. They're not out in the hallway having conversations because they're here to learn something. They made an investment, they're in the room. You are the leaders in the room. Everybody's up there having those side conversations. Guess what? Not there yet. Okay? They take 100% responsibility. They take 100% ownership. Not 90%, not 50%, not 99%, 100%, all in, all the time. These are the great leaders. So once you make the decision to become a leader, these are the things that you do. They maximize time. They don't waste it. They use a calendar. Mastering the calendar is one of the things that great leaders do. That's why they can accomplish so many things in such a short amount of time, but most people don't get anything done. At the time it takes somebody to mow a lawn, somebody else can create a company. Because they maximize time, okay? They demonstrate harmony, not balance. Work-life balance is BS. There is going to be a season where you're going to have to put more work into your business than you will into your family. But you will find harmony in that. Because they understand it's temporary. Because everything has a season. What season are you in? And if you're in the season of planting, plant. If you're in the season of harvest, harvest. But I'm from Alberta, so I was driving home from my meeting after the meeting on Tuesday night, and it's dark. 5 combines coming down the field. That's because it's harvest season. Right? Working in the dark. Okay, they speak the language of EPR, encouragement, praise, and recognition, but they don't blow smoke up people's butts. They encourage people, but they're not always friendly about it. They praise people. They look for reasons to praise people. And they make sure they recognize people, but they don't do false praise. They don't do casual praise. Okay? They uphold high standards and expectations. They protect the brand. The brand of Experior, if it ever gets damaged, what happens to the security that you want and desire for your family? Does that just not a concern? Or does that get to jeopardy? Or does that get jeopardized? We protect the brand. I'll tell you something, one of the things we do on the ELC, we spend more time talking about how to make sure that this does not go sideways than anything else that we talk about. How do we make it better? Retain high standards, not compromise on our mission, not compromise on our values and our morals and all that kind of stuff. We do that. That's what we do on the ELC. And I'm telling you right now, we're all on the same page. And one of the things is, you will never know what we don't agree on. In that room, me and Morrow, we love each other away from the room, but in that room, man, I'm gonna wrestle that mother, Just kidding. He's at the front here, so, okay? We don't always agree, but we're always together. That's one of the keys to the ELC. Okay? Here's some of the intangibles. They're students of the psychology of people. They work on how do people think, not what do people do, or anything like that. They're going, how do people think? Why do they think that? I want to study people. Okay? They study leadership. They don't read about it. They don't do anything like that. They study it. Okay? This thing turned off. I'm not sure how I'm doing. Okay? They focus on contribution, not recognition. To be quite frank with you, if I get another plaque, but I love that Connie and Diageo got it. I love it. That becomes addictive. Okay? They take immediate action. They don't need to be reminded. They don't need to be managed. The great leaders know where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. They don't have to get reminded to send in this or do this kind of stuff. And no, I'm not picking on everybody that didn't send in their presentations right away. I had to learn how to make PowerPoint so I could do that part. And I've never been this prepared for a talk in my life. Okay? Mentally tough. They're aware of their mental state. They control their emotions and they respond. They don't react. They don't react. They have something called the power of the pause. And the reason why that's so important is because they know somebody's watching. Somebody's always watching. So knowing that, they want to make sure that they're seen in the way that leaders are seen. Okay? C&I, constant, never-ending improvement. They don't believe their own press. They always know that they can be better. They always know that they can do more. They always know that they can learn something. See, these are great leaders. This is not my list. This is the list I'm working on. These are the things I try to do. I'm not great. I'm pretty good. But greatness is never fully achieved. Did you know that? There's always something more. They maximize their strengths. They don't do the crap they're not good at. Like, we will never ask Morrow to tell us the website address of something ever. Right? He's getting better, Okay? They maximize their strengths. They accommodate their weaknesses. They delegate their weaknesses. They get so much in their zone. I know what I'm good at now, and our team is fantastic. You like our shirts? Yes. Thank you, Joyce. I had nothing to do with it. Right? Okay? We have high standards and expectations of themselves. And they're higher than anybody around them. They're uncompromising on certain things. But they're very, very clear on it. And the more in tune they can get, better it is. In October of 2002, I went to my very first industry event, a company event with a practice company, and I met somebody, and I remember coming home, so I started in July 2002. I got laid off on 8-day severance July 4th, wrote my exam July 22nd, license in hand August 26th, first piece of business closed August 27th, paid me $7,000. I'm thinking, ooh, I'm like Zachy, I'm a superstar. Not the way it is, by the way. But I went to an event, I got told, no, it's for this level and above, and I looked at him and I go, what are you gonna do, kick me out? I was told to be where I'm supposed to be, right? But I remember standing there and I watched this guy. This guy's a great leader. And I remember coming home and looking at my wife and said, I don't know whether I'm ever gonna make another dollar in this industry. But I could learn, if I could learn how to live my life as clear and concise and so clear on who he is, man, this will all be worth it. And we didn't agree on everything, right? But man, did I learn a ton, okay? So they have high standards in themselves. They're clear in their beliefs, morals, and values. They look for ways to build other people's identities, okay? They maintain fiscal discipline. Yes, you go for lunch, but we do something called the executive lunch. It's called the Costco hot dog. 3 people, we go for lunch, you get 3 pots, 3 hot dogs, and a thing of fries for $10. And we pump up the executive lunch. I love Costco hot dog. It was really bad when they started getting chicken wings. All right, okay. Here's the things they avoid. They're not a relationship counselor. They're not. Whatever your challenges are, they may be able to point you in the direction and help you with it, but they do not do the counseling. The great leaders don't do that. None of their business. It's not their job. They don't major in minor things. How many people major in minor things? Everything, no matter what happens. They become a victim of circumstance. Great leaders don't do that. They keep their eye on the big picture. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Okay? Some of you are going, man, is this guy going to shut up? Lunch is almost here. That's a minor thing. They avoid blaming, complaining, and justifying. They don't blame others. They take 100% personal responsibility. They don't complain about a lot of things because they know that the good people, most people, there's very few people that are doing something malicious to make your life difficult, okay? They don't justify their shortcomings. They don't justify. They look for the solution. They don't ask lazy questions. A lazy question is one that just makes your life easier. It doesn't make you better. That's a lazy question. They don't give lazy answers. See, if you're trying to build people and lead people, giving them the shortcut doesn't teach them the path. Make sense?
Very good.
Giving them the shortcut does not give them the path. And everybody has to walk the path. And it's not necessarily hard work, it's the work. Like, I want you guys to please understand this. We're talking about you're in a position where you can go and make millions of dollars. Now you think about how much work it takes in any industry to make millions of dollars. It takes the work. It doesn't matter if it's pro sports, doctor, lawyer, it doesn't matter. There's the work that's required to go to that level, period. It's not hard work, it's not too much work, it's work. Just do the work if that's where your path is. Don't look for the shortcut because it doesn't exist. Okay? They don't chase people. Oh, come on, please show up. Nope. Hey, we're going to be here. If you're a winner, you're going to be there too. Great to see you. They stopped trying, they don't spend their time trying to make people successful. See, your path to success is your path. All we can do is show you the path that there is, but you still have to walk it. I'm still walking my path. But I did make the decision to become a leader, always in the constant pursuit to be a great leader, because I made that decision. And every big leader has done that, and I know that every single one of them would not consider them a great leader because they're still working towards that. The job's not done, okay? And they avoid doing everything themselves, taking credit for the success of others, and they also don't take the responsibility for the lack of success for others. No credit, no responsibility. Okay? Go back? All right, take a picture. This isn't all of it. That's part of the list, but there's more there. It's constant. Okay? So, the question is, who are you? Be that. Who are you? Are you a leader? That wasn't rhetorical. Are you a leader? Yes. Then be one. Make the decision to lead. Do what leaders do. Take action. Okay? Do what it takes for as long as it takes until the job is flipping done. And by the way, the job that is getting done is the job that you are pursuing. That's your job. You've heard speakers talk about it, the goals, everything like that. That's the job. Do what it takes for as long as it takes until the job is done. And then you'll have anything you want. That's all my time. Have a great convention.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. My name is Jamie Prickett. I'm the CEO of Experior Financial Group. And if you like what you saw in that video, that was from our last convention. Well, this next convention coming up July 16th to the 18th of 2024 is going to be absolute fire. It's the Decade of Distinction. And if you haven't got tickets for it, click on the link below. Let's make it happen. We're going to change the world.